Think your car's transmission is working fine? Well, what if I told you that your transmission could be slowly dying without you even realizing it? Today, I'm going to reveal the 9 warning signs that your transmission is on its last legs, and more importantly, I'll show you how to save it before it's too late. Stick around because ignoring these signs could cost you thousands in repairs. First, slipping gears. Let's start with one of the most obvious yet often ignored signs that your transmission is failing: slipping gears. You might notice that your car unexpectedly changes gears while you're driving, or it might feel like the car is struggling to shift into the correct gear. When this happens, your engine revs up without the car actually speeding up, or the car hesitates before accelerating. Slipping gears are typically caused by worn-out transmission components, low transmission fluid, or a malfunctioning solenoid. It's not just a minor inconvenience. If left unchecked, slipping gears can lead to total transmission failure. To save your transmission, get it checked immediately. If the issue is related to low fluid, a simple fluid flush could solve the problem. However, if the internal components are worn out, you may need a repair or even a full replacement. The key is not to wait until it gets worse. Up next, we have a sign that's easy to miss, but it could be a big red flag. Keep watching to find out what this means. 2. Grinding or shaking. During gear shifts, grinding or shaking when shifting gears is another serious warning sign. If you hear a grinding noise when changing gears or feel a shuddering sensation, it's often a sign that the transmission is having trouble engaging the gears properly. Grinding can occur when the transmission's internal components, such as the gears or synchronizers, are worn out or damaged. It may also happen if the clutch isn't properly disengaging or if there's a lack of proper lubrication. If this issue is left unresolved, the grinding can cause more serious damage to the transmission and other components, including the clutch and flywheel. To avoid this, try to have the system inspected to check for worn-out components. Depending on the issue, a simple fluid change or clutch adjustment may solve the problem, but more severe damage may require expensive repairs. Next, we're diving into a common but serious issue that could leave you stranded on the side of the road. 3. No acceleration or poor acceleration. One of the most alarming signs of a failing transmission is when you experience no acceleration or poor acceleration. If you push the gas pedal and your car isn't responding the way it should, it could mean that your transmission is struggling to engage the right gear. This can happen for a variety of reasons. It could be a result of low transmission fluid, a clogged filter, or damaged internal components like the torque converter or valve body. In some cases, a failing transmission may not be able to send enough power to the wheels, which is why the car seems sluggish or unresponsive when you try to accelerate. To avoid being stuck in a situation where you can't accelerate, make sure to have your transmission inspected immediately. The longer you wait, the worse the problem could get, and the more expensive the repair bill will be. Up next, we've got a symptom that could cost you big time if ignored. 4. Leaking transmission fluid. Transmission fluid is vital for lubricating and cooling the internal components of your transmission. If you notice red or brown fluid spots under your car, this could indicate a transmission fluid leak. A leak can lead to low fluid levels, which will cause your transmission to overheat and eventually fail. A small leak can become a big problem if not addressed right away. If you continue to drive with low transmission fluid, you risk causing serious damage to the transmission, which could result in a complete failure that requires costly repairs or a full replacement. Check your fluid levels regularly, and if you notice any signs of leaks, have your car inspected by a professional immediately. Often, the cause of the leak is a worn-out seal or gasket, which is an easy fix for a mechanic. But if the issue is left unchecked, it can lead to major damage and a hefty repair bill. Now, here's a sign that can be easy to ignore, but don't let it slide. It could be a clear sign of transmission trouble. 5. Rough or jerky shifting. Have you ever felt a hard jolt when your car shifts gears or experience rough, jerky movements while driving? This could be a sign that your transmission is struggling, whether it's hesitation when shifting or an abrupt, harsh shift. These issues are often caused by low transmission fluid, dirty fluid, or malfunctioning components like the solenoid or control module. Rough or jerky shifting can cause additional wear on the transmission as the gears aren't meshing as smoothly as they should. Over time, this can lead to more serious damage and even complete transmission failure. If you're feeling these types of shifts, it's time to address the issue before it gets worse. Start by checking the transmission fluid level and condition. If the fluid is low or dirty, a fluid flush may be all that's needed to restore smooth shifting. However, if the problem persists, it's worth having the transmission inspected by a mechanic to check for underlying issues that need to be repaired. 6. Dashboard warning light. If you see a dashboard warning light that looks like a car with a gear or a warning sign, it could mean that something's wrong with your transmission. Modern vehicles are equipped with sophisticated sensors that monitor the transmission's performance, and if something's off, the car will alert you with a warning light. These warning lights indicate that the transmission control module has detected a fault. It could be something minor, like a sensor issue, or it could be a sign of a more serious transmission problem. Either way, when this light comes on, don't ignore it. Driving with a transmission warning light on could lead to further damage and more expensive repairs. Transmission replacements can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, depending on your car's make and model. The longer you wait, the more expensive the repairs become. Have your car scanned by a diagnostic tool to identify the specific code causing the light to come on. If the issue is related to low fluid or a sensor malfunction, it might be a relatively easy fix. However, if the transmission is failing, it may need a complete overhaul. Now here's a sign that could leave you stuck on the side of the road and how to save your car from total failure. 7. Transmission slipping. When accelerating, have you ever pressed the gas pedal only to have your engine rev, but your car doesn't seem to accelerate properly? This is a classic sign of transmission slipping. When your transmission is slipping, it means that the gears aren't engaging correctly, and the engine's power isn't reaching the wheels efficiently. This can happen for several reasons, including low fluid, a failing torque converter, or worn-out transmission bands. If left unchecked, transmission slipping can quickly escalate into a full transmission failure, leaving you stranded and facing a hefty repair bill. To fix this, first, check your transmission fluid levels. If the fluid is low or dirty, a fluid change may be enough to restore proper gear engagement. However, if the slipping continues, it could be a sign of more serious internal damage, and it's best to consult a mechanic to prevent further issues. Here's a symptom that most drivers overlook, but it could be a key warning sign that your transmission is on its last legs. 8. Unusual noises from the transmission. If your car is making strange noises when shifting gears, such as whining, clunking, or grinding, it could be a sign that your transmission is in trouble. These noises are often caused by worn-out components, such as bearings, gears, or the torque converter. Whining sounds typically indicate low fluid or a failing pump, while clunking or grinding noises could point to damaged gears or a broken clutch. These noises are not only annoying, they're a sign that your transmission is under stress, and ignoring them can lead to costly repairs or complete failure. If you're hearing unusual noises, it's important to get your transmission checked as soon as possible. In some cases, replacing the transmission fluid or performing a flush can help resolve the issue, but if the noise persists, you may need to replace parts or even the entire transmission. Is your car overheating? It could be linked to your transmission. Stick around to find out why this is such a serious issue. 9. Overheating transmission. An overheating transmission is another serious issue that can lead to transmission failure. If you notice that your car is running hot, or if the temperature gauge spikes into the red zone, it could be a sign that your transmission is overheating. Transmission fluid is responsible for keeping the transmission cool, and if the fluid is low or dirty, the transmission can overheat. Other causes of overheating include a faulty cooler, clogged cooling lines, or even a heavy load or towing. If the transmission overheats for too long, it can cause the seals to fail, leading to leaks and further damage. To fix an overheating transmission, start by checking the fluid level and condition. If it's low, top it up with the correct fluid. If it's dirty or burnt, a fluid flush could help. If the issue persists, it's worth getting the cooling system and transmission cooler checked. Your transmission is one of the most important parts of your car, and catching problems early can save you thousands of dollars in repairs. Which of these signs have you noticed in your car? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more car maintenance tips. Thanks for watching, and take care of your transmission before it's too late.